Ohio's stay-at-home order has many small businesses struggling to pay their rent. And while Governor DeWine is urging landlords to show some kind of leniency here, one small business owner in Ohio City says she had to move out of her store. News 5's Olivia Fecto live with us tonight. Olivia, that owner and her landlord, they spent weeks negotiating exactly how to handle these rent payments.
Yeah, good evening, Rob. And after those negotiations, they didn't come to an agreement. After this weekend, the owner says she found this 3-day notice to vacate posted on the door of her shop. Heather Sapanos says the first week of March was one of her best weeks at Vintage Fashion Clee and Rising Boutique in Ohio City. But the following week, news about COVID-19 changed all that.
My sales were down more than 80%.
Sapanos contacted her landlord and they started trying to figure out what to do about rent. In a statement sent to News 5, the landlord wrote that as a small business owner himself, quote, "I can relate to the pain caused by this pandemic. My business is also essentially closed and I am struggling without mortgage relief on the Vintage Fashion Clee building." Instead of a free month of rent in October, which was part of the original lease, the new agreement offered 2 months with no rent payment in April and May and half a month's payment each in June and July, while extending the term of the original lease by 2 months. The landlord described it as free rent and wrote, quote, "All of these moves were intended to get her back open." But Sapanos described it as a deferment.
We couldn't come to an agreement that we both were on board with.
Sapanos found that notice to vacate on her door the day before Easter.
I was in complete shock. I didn't know that this could happen.
Sapanos knew about Governor DeWine's order urging landlords to suspend rent payments for small businesses for 90 days.
We know that many of them are hurting. We know that they've had to make some very, very tough choices.
But she says an attorney advised her about a clause in the original lease that could have resulted in the loss of her property inside the store if she didn't pay rent. So with the help of family and friends, she moved out.
Take everything out of the store. It was unimaginable.
Sapanos is now selling online, but she says it doesn't compare to in-store sales.
It was helpful, but not enough. Not anywhere near enough.
She's not sure what's next for her or for other small businesses.
I don't feel like this was right, and it's not fair.
And that landlord wrote in his statement, quote, "I am truly sorry that this didn't work out another way and take absolute responsibility that I should have handled things differently and in a better manner. The timing was terrible and I take full responsibility for that mistake. No excuses for my actions. I am sorry, ashamed, and embarrassed." The landlord also said he hopes that Sapanos' business doesn't suffer as a result of all this and says her online business shows promise. Reporting live in Ohio City, Olivia Fecto, News 5.